In the early hours of election day, the world held its breath. Would the United States choose continuity or shake the globe with another seismic shift? The answer came with a familiar face: Donald J. Trump. His victory is more than just an American story. It's a signal to Europe and NATO that the game has changed again. As the ballots were counted and the results confirmed, leaders around the world scrambled to interpret what this would mean for the intricate web of alliances and rivalries that define our era. Trump's return to power is a plot twist that Europe's leaders may have feared but secretly prepared for. His first term redefined America's role on the global stage. His second term, it's poised to challenge the very foundations of transatlantic unity. His rhetoric remains as divisive as ever, but his ability to reshape the global order is undeniable. What does his vision for America mean for NATO and Europe? The answers lie in the policy playbook he's already shown us, combined with the unknown twists of a second-term agenda. Let's rewind to 2016. Trump's America First doctrine wasn't just a campaign slogan, it became a governing principle. NATO allies faced sharp criticism for not meeting their defense spending targets. Trump's bluntness was both his charm and his controversy. Why should America pay to defend Europe when Europe won't defend itself? He asked. This approach resonated with some Americans who question the fairness of global alliances, but unsettled traditional allies who saw it as a betrayal of shared values. And who can forget his subtle diplomacy at the NATO summit? Let's just say it's hard to unsee a president physically nudging his way to the front row. It was an unforgettable lesson in the art of asserting dominance. Trump's re-election puts NATO at a crossroads. On one hand, his presidency could reinvigorate debates about Europe's strategic autonomy. On the other, it could unravel decades of trust. NATO's Article 5, the cornerstone of collective defense, is suddenly back in the spotlight. Would Trump stand by it if push came to shove? The question lingers. And for NATO's 31 member states, this uncertainty carries profound implications. After all, nothing says unbreakable bond like a president asking allies to pay up, or else. Some would call it tough love, others might call it transactional diplomacy at its finest. For Europe, Trump's win is a litmus test. France's Macron may double down on his call for European strategic autonomy, while Germany could face pressure to accelerate its military spending. But will Europe's nations move together as one bloc, or will cracks emerge as individual countries hedge their bets? Some leaders may see an opportunity to push forward with more integration, while others may revert to old habits of nationalism. The stakes are high and the clock is ticking. It's Europe, so expect plenty of debates, delays, and perhaps a 5-year plan to discuss a 10-year plan. It's not a sprint, it's more of a leisurely, wine-fueled stroll. Let's not forget the other players on the board. For Russia, Trump's skepticism of NATO could be a gift, emboldening its ambitions in Eastern Europe. Moscow's strategy has long relied on exploiting divisions among its adversaries, and Trump's rhetoric might just provide the openings Putin needs. Meanwhile, China will watch closely to see if Trump's trade war rhetoric makes a comeback, or if a more isolationist US leaves room for Beijing to expand its influence. For Europe, this means one thing: a balancing act between American unpredictability and the growing assertiveness of these global powers. Trump's policies could also ripple through Europe's economies. A renewed focus on tariffs could hit industries from agriculture to tech. For NATO countries, ramping up defense spending might mean cutting back elsewhere. Imagine the balancing act sustaining economic growth, maintaining public support, and meeting defense obligations in an unpredictable geopolitical climate. Good luck explaining that to European voters who just want affordable wine, efficient trains, and working Wi-Fi. Trump's victory is a reminder that global politics rarely stays predictable for long. For Europe and NATO, the next 4 years could bring transformation or turmoil. One thing's for sure: the stakes have never been higher. Will the Atlantic divide become a chasm, or will leaders on both sides find a way to bridge the gap? So, stock up on popcorn. The show is just getting started, and it's one you definitely won't want to miss.